Hello, lads. The longer that I'm alive, the more convinced I become that demoralization is something to be actively avoided. That demoralization is, in fact, something that they want you to be afflicted with. There is an active demoralization campaign. They want you, whoever you are, out there, whoever happens to be watching this, they want you, and they want me too. They want all of us who are a part, who would be watching this video, all us regular people. They want us to be demoralized, and I've come to be so harsh on the so-called black pill message, because it seems to me that what black pill people do, more or less, is they spread demoralization for free. I don't think they're agents of these powerful groups that want you to be demoralized. I think most of them are just people who, for good reason, probably in many of their cases, they've had a lot of crap experiences and they don't see a lot of reason for hope. And I don't, I don't begrudge them the way they feel at all. I can relate. I'm very, very, very far from being an optimist, temperamentally speaking. But I do think one must avoid demoralization. For one reason, for one thing, it's bad. It's bad for you. For another thing, it's what they want. You're falling right into their trap if you agree to be demoralized. And the thing about it is, so many people who spread demoralization are very smug about it. It's like they think, well, I'm not one of those dumb optimists. I'm I see things for the way they really are, and I'm not going to be, I'm not just going to be telling you what you want to hear, and that's the attitude. And of course, there's some truth to that, in that you don't want to just tell everybody, oh, everything's going to be fine, or everything is fine. And that was that's the other side of the coin. I don't know if the Q phenomenon still exists. But while Trump was president for the first time, who knows about the future? But all the time during his presidency, there was this opposite campaign, this campaign of look, it's everything's going to be taken care of right now. The good guys are in control. You're going to see the bad people, the predators from on high, who do unimaginable acts of evil. They're going to be taken down. You're going to see them, perp walked into, on live TV. You're going to see them humiliated. You're going to see them brought before military tribunals, and hanged for their heinous crimes against humanity. So the patriots are in control. Sit back, enjoy the show. Nothing can stop what's coming. All that sort of thing. Well, and there were people right up to the last hour who thought, the debacle of FRAUD, that was the ELECTION of 2020, who thought, well, it's all going to get reversed, and he'll still be in control, and so this campaign will continue. There were people who even thought during the scamdemic, who thought, oh, well, that's just, the scamdemic is all just a smokescreen. This is something they're putting out there so that they can, do their righteous deeds in secret. There were people who were actually saying these kinds of things. I remember hearing it. And so what's the result when that doesn't happen? When you think, just sort of like the people who say, the rapture is going to happen at such and such a date, and you sell everything you have, and you just get ready to be taken up into heaven, and that date comes and passes, and nothing happens. You're as unraptured as ever, and now you're broke. What happens then? Demoralization, right? Right? Is that a coincidence? I think not. Okay. So, that's just to preface the general message that I have concerning the importance of avoiding demoralization. And it's not easy to do because things aren't great right now. We see evil winning in a lot of ways. We see the world that we were used to, the securities and liberties that we were used to, crumbling by the wayside. We see things going to pieces around us, and it's definitely not easy not to be demoralized. Or definitely, I don't know if I said that unnecessarily complicatedly. It's definitely easy to be demoralized. Let's just put it that way. So, one of the ways in which I believe the demoralization campaign happens is we come to buy into something. We believe in this for, even if it's like just entertainment, because pop culture entertainment, the arts are important, and when you like something, let's say a movie, when you really are into a movie or a movie series, or something along those lines, even if it's just for the purpose of escapism, escapism is important. It's important to escape. I think that art does us a great service. Artists do us a great service in assisting in our ability to escape the dreariness that we feel, and to show us a place that is new and that is imaginative and that is really immersive. And of course, cinema does that very well. Cinema does the immersion thing very well, and video games do that as well. I've never been a gamer, so that's sort of a genre that I'm not as familiar with and can't really comment as much on. But from what I can gather, that's part of the reason why people get so involved in video games, because it's like escaping the world that they're in and going somewhere that is much more exciting and much more fun and much better. And I think that's not, I don't look at that and say, oh, that's just bred in circuses, or that's just, that they're just trying to distract you from solving the problems of the world or anything like that. I think they're that enabling one's mind and to escape from that which weighs it down is a really, really important thing and a really good thing, and it's something that in moderation, it's something that we all need, and something that is that serves a really important purpose for us. And I remember growing up at a time when entertainment was basically just entertainment. It was like, okay, you get away. Yeah, Hollywood still was evil. Don't get me wrong. The entertainment industry is and has always been an extremely evil entity, or conglomeration of entities. Not to say good people can't exist within it and do good things within it, but just generally speaking, it's a cesspit of awfulness, culturally speaking. But I remember when, for example, Star Wars, the original trilogy, the whole idea there, and George Lucas himself said it, the idea of the original trilogy, or of the very first movie, which was called Star Wars before it got renamed Star Wars: A New Hope, a few years later, was to take people out of the troubles of the world and immerse them in this experience of being somewhere that is completely unfamiliar, and to refresh them in that way and make them forget the things that are vexing their minds in this world of grief and pain. The original Star Wars had politics to it. The world of Star Wars had politics to it, but any resemblance between the politics of Star Wars and politics in the real world, the world as we knew it, was entirely coincidental, as as that disclaimer sometimes reads. Any resemblance to real people, places, or whatever is entirely coincidental. So I'm talking about. I'm shrinking things down into just there's the whole macrocosm of the wokeification of pop culture, which in itself is I think an effort to demoralize, in that it winds up preaching to the audience that it's bad faith. The audience comes expecting to be entertained and to be transported out of this dreary world, and instead they're preached at, and they're told what to think and how to feel, and to inherently associate certain races and genders with goodness, and others with badness, and so forth and so on. People oppose this so fiercely just because it's a kind of betrayal. It's not that they, really, it's not like they care about, all of my heroes have to look like me, or, before the woke era started, the last 7 or 8 years really is when it really started getting ramped up. But before that, if you had like a strong female character in a movie, people didn't think, this is taking me out of the world that I'm, being immersed in, and preaching at me about with this feminist message or whatever. People loved Sigourney Weaver's character in the Alien movies, and they liked Sarah Connor in the Terminator movies, but they didn't think to themselves, it's about time we had a strong female character. There's too many men out there, it didn't it didn't hit them on that level. Now they're intentionally hitting people on that level, and it's in a very obvious way. And this is demoralizing. And most recently, again, just to, I beg the indulgence of anyone, if this is not your cup of tea, if this is not your thing, if you don't watch these movies, or if you're not interested in this kind of stuff, I'm talking about these things, as a microcosm of something larger, of a larger phenomenon. So bear with me while I talk about it, if you would, if you don't mind. There was a show, or there is a show now. It's still on, on the Disney app, and Disney. I mean, they're among the worst offenders. they're like the leaders of this whole wokeification effort lately. Historically speaking, it really was not a part of Disney. Although there's plenty that's unsavory about Disney, since its inception. I mean, I will admit that. But but since Disney acquired Star Wars, people largely were dismayed at the direction that they went with it, with some exceptions. There was a good movie here or there. There was a show here or there. For me, as an OG Star Wars fan, I liked the show Andor. I thought it was good. I thought it was mostly did not contain the kind of demoralizing wokeification agenda that we see like in the sequel trilogy and elsewhere. But people liked the show The Mandalorian because they thought, this is back to classic Star Wars. And now season 3 of The Mandalorian, things are going way downhill. And the most egregious thing that happened in a recent episode, it was not the fact that the episode had a couple of ridiculous cameos, but the fact that at the end of this episode, we find out that the guy that we thought was the hero of the show, that he was the Mandalorian of the title. There's a scene where he says, "Actually, you should all follow her, and she's really superior to me because she rescued me, so she should have the black saber." Never mind what the black saber is; it doesn't matter. And you should follow her, and she'll lead us to where we need to go as a people. And then it's like, so now she's the Mandalorian. So now this chick, this side character, is now the Mandalorian of the title, and the guy we've been following, the stoic masculine male character who people liked because he had those qualities of the traditionalist hero. Now he's getting shunted to the side, and it's all about this following this chick, right? She's the one to follow. She's the true Mandalorian of the title. She's a strong and powerful Mandalorian. I mean, I didn't watch the show that religiously, but after that episode, I'm done. Why? It's not because I'm against there being strong female characters. It's just this has, you know, the presentation of a character purposely emasculating himself, you know, basically cutting him off in front of all of our faces and saying, and giving them to this character who had up to this point been a side character, you know, somebody who was far from being the central character, but who was also of the same race of people, the Mandalorian people. And now he's giving her the black saber, which is representationally his nuts. You know, I mean, that's just it's so it's so non-artfully done. It's so blatantly in your face, with its effort to say, this guy, you thought it was about this guy all along. Well, now guess what? He's not important at all, and it's all about this chick. You got to follow her because feminism, man. You got to be a feminist. It's just, you know. I mean, what can I say about it? I think the problem is if you make it too big a deal about it, if you talk about it too much, then you're blowing it up, you know, and you're adding to the effect of the demoralization that it represents. And so the important thing is just to recognize it for what it is, and you know, and to refuse to be taken in by it, which is what I plan to do. I plan to stop watching, because for me, that was just you know, kind of an in-your-face kind of you know, screw you, to me. That was how I took it, and I think it's again the betrayal of the audience that wants to go and escape and be entertained. Not just be entertained. There's a problem of looking at it that way. It's not just entertainment. It is something important in and of itself, and to have that, you know, pivot into actually, it's just this, ha ha ha. You know, you thought it was different, but it's just the same as all these other things that are growing up, sprouting up everywhere, you know, and choking out any hope that you might have in your heart. You know, you got to just walk away from it. You got to just say, I'm not going to let this ruin my day, but I'm also going to recognize it for what it is. And be on my merry way. So those are my thoughts. Got a little long-winded there, but I hope what I had to say still resonated with you in some way or other. If anybody has anything to add or wants to comment on what I've said, please leave your thoughts below. Thank you very much for watching.